The Wall is back on NBC and Peacock for its 6th season as contestants attempt to build a huge cash prize. Joining us now is host of the show, Chris Hardwick. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm pumped to be speaking with you. Now, Chris, I know this show has been very high stakes now in its 6th season. So what can we expect from this season?
I don't want to spoil too much, but I do believe we've given away a lot of money this season, which is great because, you know, if you've seen the show, you know that you cannot help but root for the contestants on every episode of the show. You know, you get very happy when they leave with money because you get to know them, you know, more than on most shows, and you discover that there are these amazing examples of humanity and, you know, people who've given so much more to life than they've usually gotten back. And so this show really is a chance to hopefully change their lives in a really positive way, and not just their lives, but their families and their communities. And so it really is, the show is an emotional roller coaster, but it is an incredible ride. You feel all the emotions, and hopefully by the end you feel, you know, you feel good and you feel happy that you watch the show. I never could have predicted that when I first took the job. Like, oh, it's not just a game show. It's really just kind of this emotional experience where you get to know these wonderful people and you play a game in the process.
Yeah, it's kind of like a twofold there. And I also really love that humanity aspect. And I want to take it a step further and kind of ask you, you know, what's it like for you viewing the game happen in real time as the host, and what's it meant to you to be so vital in this show? Because I know you serve as producer as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do the physical production of the show. That's handled by Andrew Glassman, who created the show, and he is just amazing. He's just such a sweet man, and, you know, he really is the heart of the show. And, you know, I come in when we're ready to tape, but I really appreciate that I get to take this journey with the folks who are on the show. I mean, it takes about 2.5 hours to shoot an episode, and I just try to stay in it with them the entire time and keep them present. And, you know, I want to make the experience as positive for them as possible, because it is a surreal thing to just all of a sudden be on a soundstage with this, you know, building-sized wall that could potentially change your life. And so, you know, I really just do the best that I can to check in on them, make sure they're okay, you know, make sure, you know, to remind them to breathe and just kind of be whatever they need me to be, a therapist or a friend or a high five or a, hey, you want to sit down on the floor for a minute and take a minute and just take a breath? Let's do it. You know, it's okay. You're okay. You know, I don't want them to feel rushed. I really want them to be in the moment and take it all in. So that's what I try to do.
Yeah, totally. I mean, anybody having a chance at life-changing money is a very vulnerable position to be in. Now, I've heard you talk really highly about people that compete on this show, and I know that there's been countless contestants that have come through and competed on the wall. So any backstories that really have stuck out to you with any contestants? Because even like last week's duo, father and son, Steven and Seth, were really incredible.
That was an incredible episode, and I was so happy that they won $1.6 million. The episode that aired last night was incredible. It was Vincent and Katy. They're both Navy veterans, and Vincent is a firefighter paramedic. They live in Florida, and he received a call that someone had surrendered a newborn to their safe haven box. And so he responded to the call, and ultimately they were able to adopt her. And a story like that, especially as a parent, and knowing how meaningful that is, and knowing that they were able to be a part of that, those are the stories. And even last week's, you know, Steven and Seth, a father and a son, the parent and child stories really resonate with me now, because, you know, our daughter's almost 4, and I just know what that means. And I know that, you know, as a parent, you would do anything for your child, and as a child, you would do anything for your parent. And so those stories really, I mean, there have been numerous times on the show where I get, you know, emotional, even if I'm watching back after the episode's over. But those are the ones that are particularly, you know, resonate with me as a newish parent now.
Yeah, to be able to see yourself in some of these stories, I think makes a huge difference. Now, taking a brief pause from the wall, mental health is one of the largest epidemics in the world, obviously. And you've got this lovely little podcast called I Think You're Overthinking It, which is kind of doing its small part of helping people along the way. So I'm curious, just real quick, why was it important for you to create this outlet, and what advice would you give to others who kind of share maybe your anxiety and over-analysis similarities?
I mean, I love that you asked the question. I just, I kind of themed the podcast around this because I'm an overthinker. And I think for me, the way that I respond to things is like, oh, if I'm struggling with something, I really like to talk about it because I want to help normalize those conversations so that other people don't feel alone. And because sometimes it is helpful to feel like, oh, this thing that I think is just so unique to me is a thing. It's a thing that people have, and it's okay, and it's normal, and you can navigate it, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. And they are things, that so many of us deal with. So I just talk very openly about it, in the same way that I've been a sober person for 20 to 20, what year is it? 23 years almost, or just past 22. It was 2003, so 2026 will be 23 years. And so I've always talked openly about that too, because I just want people to know, like, hey, if this is something you're considering, it's achievable and you can do it, and, get help. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Therapy is great. Get a support structure, talk to friends, don't be ashamed. And so that's why, and everyone, and so many people, particularly in our business, overthink, And so it's just kind of navigating that and trying to just let people know that it's okay and they're okay. That's really kind of why I like to do it.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing it. I think it's important, and obviously a lot of people, I'm sure, are benefiting from that. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being vulnerable about your mental health and being so insightful about The Wall. Season 6 is airing Mondays on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Thank you so much.